9 warning signs indicating that you're dealing with a woman of ill will. Although it is comforting to believe in the natural kindness of people, small character flaws can lead some to question this conception. Have you ever encountered harmful and cruel individuals who don't hesitate to hurt others' feelings and exploit others' weaknesses for their own benefit? These clear signs of malevolent behavior can manifest subtly through unnoticed microaggressions. In today's video, we'll discuss 9 indicators that may point to interacting with a woman of questionable character. Each tip is valuable, with the last one, in my view, being the most crucial. So, watch until the end not to miss any details. Pleasure in others' suffering. Have you ever come across someone who mocks others' misfortune? You know, that friend who lets out a diabolical laugh when someone is down? Be aware, because this could be a sign that her empathy took a stroll. The danger is that these people can turn everyone's life into a real soap opera just to have fun at the expense of others' troubles. It's not just a lack of empathy, it's almost like a lesson in creating confusion. And if you run into someone who enjoys making others' lives turn upside down, be on alert. This crowd loves to have so much control that it seems like they're trying to be the directors of our lives. If someone is giving input even on the color of your socks, be careful. This crazy desire to control everything could be a sign that you're dealing with someone who is not here to play. The motto here is, free, light, and loose, because no one deserves to have their life directed by someone else, right? Dominating behavior. Imagine a crowd that wants to be the big boss. Women with unfriendly intentions have this habit of wanting to control the universe around them. They don't care about going with the flow, they want to impose their opinions and act like directors of an epic film of their lives. If someone is suddenly dictating your schedule and even choosing where you'll spend the weekend, be alert. You might have a commander on duty wanting to turn your life into her own script. Those who enjoy having total control usually don't take it well when things don't go their way. This group is always on your tail, wanting to direct even your routine. If you notice that someone is more interested in being the maestro of your life than enjoying their own, it's time to put a stop to it. No one deserves to have a director wanting to be the Spielberg of their life, right? After all, you are the star of your own movie. Causing discomfort. Who hasn't come across that person who seems like a walking black cloud? Sometimes, being around them is like running into a storm. If you feel like you're being drained, exhausted, or even disturbed without quite understanding why, you might be picking up on a negative vibe. The golden rule here is to trust your intuition and take a step away from that dark cloud. After all, life already has its challenges. We don't need people who add more clouds to our sky, right? Lack of responsibility. You know that crowd that does the wrong things and then blames everyone but themselves? Well, bad people have this habit of never admitting when they've messed up. They are masters at pointing fingers, playing the victim, and never taking responsibility for their own mistakes. If apologizing is seen as a sign of weakness to them, you can be sure they'll dodge it skillfully. It's like a blame-shifting game, and the last thing this crowd wants is to carry the weight of their mistakes, right? For them, admitting they were wrong is almost like admitting they're not invincible. The idea of apologizing is almost a taboo for them. It's as if they have a manual that says, no matter what happens, never take responsibility. So, if someone is always shifting the blame to others and avoiding their own mistakes, here's a tip: get ready for a lesson in juggling apologies and evading responsibility. Familiarity with lies. Who hasn't come across someone who invents stories all the time just to come out on top? If you notice that friend has a PhD in telling tall tales to get ahead, it could be a warning sign. These people don't care about your trust and friendship, they lie as if they're telling jokes. And when caught red-handed, it's the same old story, they lie even about what they had for breakfast. Imagine a group that turns the truth into a science fiction story. This crowd of shameless liars doesn't care about your vote of confidence. When exposed, they have no shame and add more lies just to cover up. If someone has a serious relationship with lying, be on your guard. Because, let's face it, no one deserves to be friends with someone who turns life into a work of fiction without asking permission, right? Absence of remorse. Imagine dealing with someone who has no idea what it's like to feel even a bit of remorse. These bad women are like a combo of control, lies, and a dash of zero remorse. If, by chance, you try to have a serious conversation about the havoc they've caused, it's almost like talking to a wall. They deflect, shift the blame, and even make you doubt if you're living on the same planet. For this crowd, admitting they were wrong is almost like asking them to play the saxophone with their feet. It simply doesn't happen. And if you're expecting a sincere apology, you better not hold your breath. These bad women don't have time for remorse. In fact, for them, feeling regret is almost like wearing a shirt that says failure. So, if you're trying to make someone from this crowd acknowledge their mistakes, get ready for a game of mirrors where reality seems more like an illusion than a fact. Explicit cruelty. You know that crowd that couldn't care less about the subtlety manual and prefers to go straight to the point with explicit cruelty? Well, some bad women are like that, masters at turning any situation into a battleground. Fights, sharp words, and actions worthy of soap opera villains are their forte. If you're around someone who enjoys hurting others on purpose, be alert because these people have no limits. It's like dealing with an artist of evil, right? They're not here to play, and they don't hesitate to turn the lives of those close to them into a true emotional battlefield. If, suddenly, you realize you're in the ring with an expert in explicit cruelty, the advice is to put on your drama-proof vest and step away before the situation gets even more complicated. No one deserves to be an extra in the chaos soap opera, right? Warnings from friends and family. When friends and family start giving warnings and flashing that little red light, it's time to pay attention. If they advise you to strategically make a run for it, they might be seeing something you haven't noticed yet. Sometimes, they even drop hints like remember that X no one could stand, trying to give you a heads up about the person's behavioral issues. And guess what? These bad people love to downplay their own problems, blaming their ex-partners as if it were an Olympic sport. If this kind of warning happens, it's better to switch your suspicion antenna to turbo mode. Seriously, if friends and family are all singing the same tune, it's like a symphony of alerts. They've seen this movie before and don't want you to be the protagonist of the sequel. It's like that saying, forewarned is forearmed. If they see problems on the horizon, it's best to heed the advice of those who have your best interests at heart and make a run for it before the storm hits your life. Underestimation. Look, if there's one thing bad people love, it's playing down others. It's like they're masters in a competition of belittling others. They stay there, making jokes, ridiculing appearance, interests, dreams, or even your love for burgers and fries. Everything becomes a target. The moral of the story? Don't let these people shake your self-esteem or mess with your favorite menu, because life is too short to take underestimation seriously. If, by any chance, you find yourself in the middle of a downpour of underestimation, don't be shy. These people have a superpower of trying to make you feel smaller than an ant. The tip here is to resist bravely, like the hero of your own story, and remember that no one, absolutely no one, has the right to underestimate who you are. After all, we are all protagonists of our lives, right? Bonus tip: cruelty to animals. Look, if you come across someone being cruel to animals, my friend, it's time to turn on all the warning lights. This is one of those red flags that blink strongly. Those who mistreat animals are showing that empathy and common sense have gone astray. Moreover, cruelty to animals is often a symptom of more serious problems lurking beneath the surface. It's almost like a universal sign that something is not right. It's not just a, oh, she's a bit grumpy, it's like a megaphone screaming that this person may have a baggage of serious problems. If someone treats animals poorly, who are pure cuteness and love, imagine how they'll deal with people? So, if you witness this kind of behavior, don't hesitate, it's time to take a step away from this tangle. After all, anyone who is cruel to pets doesn't deserve even a minute of your time. Just think, if you matched with someone with these characteristics, it's time to turn on the emergency lights and take a leap far away. Even if the hope for a change persists, often the harsh reality is that bad people aren't really interested in being rescued. It's like trying to save someone who's parachuting and shouting, "Don't save me." A bit complicated, right? In this crossroads, the best move is to save yourself, jump off this sinking ship, and leave the bad person behind. And let's talk about it in the comments. If you've noticed any signs that didn't pass through the radar, or if you have a story to share, the stage is all yours. The dialogue is like the superhero combating the evil of misinformation, so speak up. Let's take care of our energy because no one deserves a little stroll with someone who just wants to bring the vibe down, right? Stay alert and sharp because life is too short to waste on people who don't add up.